Okay, we are in Egypt and this is 40 Plus Gaming. And we're gonna do the big terrible picture. Because this is probably the region most rich in investigation scenarios, I think. We're gonna have to do a count on that later. But here we go, we're gonna have a great time deciphering stuff. We love stuff.
And Tie, once the great royal wife, decreed her dais to be set down at the Ankh. Are you getting all this, Aaron? Riveting stuff.
Is riveting really the word you're looking for, Monty?
At least take a rubbing, man.
Ah, hello again. We're getting in a little legwork while there's a break in the, murdering.
I don't know how au fait you are with the reign of Pharaoh Aknathen.
Creator of the would-be capital, Amarna. Dedicated to his one god, Aten. It's out that way.
Yes, a very long way out there. Even on its rushed schedule, the city was never completed. It was a vanity project, subject to the whims of Akhenathen's growing megalomania. And our man was distracted.
By the demands of his Atenist religion. And the wiles of his mother, Tie the Red Queen. She colored her nails blood red, perhaps even dyed her hair. Upper-class ancient Egyptian women were millennia ahead of the glamour curve.
Think of a Lady Macbeth figure by way of Grace Jones.
Who?
Why did Tie, Akhenaten, and their divine cult start a new citadel in this empty place? What brought the Romans here, decades on? I venture the answers are still carved under sand.
Neato.
Non-homicidal visitors are always welcome.
Yay, we're non-homicidal. Okay. That looks like a terrible screenshot. Okay. We are gonna go, it's actually kind of inside the lair in the region, so fun. Okay. Ruins to the northwest of particular interest. Research curtailed by this beastly latter-day Artenist cult. Forced to abandon notes and translations. Trustees have remained for Oxford eyes only, thanks to simple cipher. In the event of my and Dr. Singh's absence, a rudimentary knowledge of Roman history should put key to lock. Okay, so we know there is
Non-homicidal visitors are always welcome.
a cipher happening. That's nice. Cool. Hello, excuse me, ignore me. Nothing to see. Can I? Ah, that's nice. Sorry, I just kind of like them. They're neat. They look badass. Okay, this is the great place where we had a crate dropped on us by a helicopter. Fond fucking memories. Okay, here we go. Yay! Okay. Good. We're gonna be noodling with all of these braziers. But first, we have Montgomery's research notes. In the notes that we read inside of his tent, he said that a rudimentary code and knowledge of Roman history would help you. So if you just search for Roman codes, you will learn very quickly that apparently Julius Caesar encoded his letters so I guess people he wrote were in on it. But it's quite simple. It's like you just decide that it's a rotation cipher. You just decide that A equals B, for example. So you just rotate it one space. So whenever you write A, you actually write a B instead. And when you write a B, you actually write a C instead. So it's just a movie thing down the line. And of course I have given you the benefit of having translated it. This one says Path of the Sun relates not just to the solar body, but the travel of the human body, birth to beyond. 8 flames, 8 stations on the path of life, although the order is not what seemed initially obvious. Yeah. It really was not. Okay, so we have all of these braziers, and we're just gonna... Can I? No, I just want to read the note! This is one of the harder part. Because if you can't actually grab the notes, you're really fucked. And that was part of the fun. Okay, sometimes it'll let you, sometimes it will let you not. Like there, okay, there was no problem. Instead of me having an aneurysm about this, I will just tell you what they do. Okay, we have one that says infancy. This is infancy. This is birth. Then we have youth. We have childhood. We have nothing. Then we have adulthood. Then we have immortality. And this is death. So this is the whole, the travel of the human body, birth to beyond. And now we gotta figure out what, like how to click them so that the magic starts happening. Okay, which is perform the ritual of the sun. This is what they call it. We're gonna be performing 3 rituals through this. This is by far the most convoluted. So there's that. First, we are going to be figuring out what this is. I will just read it aloud because I have my notes for what the different brazier things say when you click these and it actually works. This is not the most clear walkthrough, but hang in there. Okay, infancy says a quickly doused flame. Birth, the briefest blaze. Youth, never truly extinguished. Childhood, only truly fades after old age. Adulthood, slower burn than infancy, faster than old age. Immortality, once achieved, unquenchable. Death is ever present. Okay, several things to unpack. First off, we have 2 references from adulthood and from childhood that mentions old age. So from that we can assume that brazier 5 is going to be old age. This is old age. This is a giant pile of burning old age. So that's nice. And then we can just say that it's logical to assume that we have birth, infancy, childhood, youth, adulthood, old age, and death. And then somewhere in there is immortality messing with death. But it also said in the original notes that the order is not what seems initially obvious. So this is clearly not right, and we can stew on that for a little while. So if we look at what is actually said in the brazier notes, it kind of tells you which ones to at least not noodle with. Youth is never truly extinguished, death is ever present, and immortality is unquenchable. So we're going to rule out youth, death, and immortality, and then we have birth, infancy, adulthood, old age, and childhood left. And they are just, yeah, in a normal order, I guess. So right there. Let's see if I remember this correctly. It's gonna give you a red circle. If you fuck up. And that's nice. Look at that. And then we get a light show. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Swing. Nobody has found this, and it has not fallen off at any point in thousands of years. I like that. Okay. Next bit. We're gonna put on a light show, baby. Whoop whoop. Okay. Ritual of days. The coming forth by day. A focusing of light upon darkness. The priesthood of a moon driven underground by artanists. Enact these rituals in secrets. Why here? Well, because here's where the magic's at. Okay, so we are going to be noodling with this crystal. You will see what's going on in a tiny little while. I hope. Yeah, there, see. We're moving this beam so that we can get the party started. Bring! Party started. And this, honestly, I don't know if there's some sort of smarty pants way of doing this. But you can also just brute force it. Is there a smarty pants way of doing it? I don't actually think so. I think you just kind of toggle things until they toggle right. Once more. And sometimes they're bugged. Yay. I did not say okay. I thought I had jinxed it. Okay. Then that happened. Exciting. Come on. It's not hitting anything. God damn it. Was this a dud? It's not hitting anything. Am I hitting the wrong one? I was hitting the wrong one. Nice. Cool. As I say, just brute force it. If you're in doubt, just twiddle some dials and move some levers and you should be fine. Life advice, right there. You're welcome. Yeah, it's kind of being a dickwad. At least you don't have a million people completing the quest at the same time. That's nice. Because back in the day, this would just glitch out near constantly. Is this supposed to be hit? Dude, chill. No. Okay. Fun, right? I guess this is where I start being entertaining. Because otherwise it's a pretty boring video. So, okay, let's have a chat. English kinda needs to fix its shit, right? No, it always goes there. Because I realized, obviously, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, at this point, they're kinda like middle-aged, but then I thought they probably aren't, because it kinda depends what sort of turtle they are. If they are like swamp turtles or something, they are probably dead by now, right? Oh, there. Wait, is it actually hitting? It's actually hitting there. Gods. Fine. So they could conceivably be either very dead of old age, or maybe they're still like in their 20s or something if they are land turtles. But here's the thing, they're turtles, right? So they must be sea creatures, right? Because tortoises are actually land turtles, right? Or is it the other way around? Does anyone really care? It seems like everyone never uses tortoise. Unless you're maybe like a biologist or something. Bing! We're gaming. This is gameplay. Ka-ching! 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 Anyhow, the turtles are either dead or they're in their 20s. I don't know what the name for people in their 20s is. Is there a name for that? Maybe? Youngsters? Thank you! I was just about to have a moment. Okay, we pick up the next terrible artifact. Okay. Okay, here we are. Next set of rituals. It says Ritual of Lineage, a prayer before royalty. Crude depictions of Aknathen. These were not made to honor him. Consider the names. Aknathen's name erased after death, but that was not his true name. A prayer to truth. Okay, I hope you've brushed up on your hieroglyphs, because now we get funky. Ta-ta, look at this. These are names all along these. Each of these niches has a name of Aknathen. And obviously, historically, he was a real person. Or a lizard person. Or an alien. or insert whatever conspiracy you're happy with. And he had a name at birth. He was royalty, obviously, and there's a whole bunch of names that you level up to get as Egyptian royalty. So he has a bunch of names, and then on top of that, he rejected Amun as the sun god in the old pantheon and started building his own crazy cult. So he took a whole new set of names, just as role player level up-y as the normal royal progression thing, but this time obviously with a focus on the Aten. So we're gonna have to figure out which ones of these are his old names, the names of the dude he used to be, Amenhotep. So yeah, there's only one way of doing this. You just go look for Aknathen's names. I found a really good page, so I'm gonna link that in the description. Really cool. It kind of goes through what the different names are and even how to pronounce them, which is pretty cool. So these are the names of Amenhotep as he was before he became crazy cult leader. So what we're gonna do is possibly retro-ironically pray to him. I think back in the day, I vaguely remember that you had to like unpray at the statues as well, and it was a whole much more complicated affair. But that was it. And then we get a Finksy Doodle. And then, lo and behold, mysteries await. Yeah, I'm totally gonna activate this. That seems like a really great idea. I'm into it. Well, I guess that's a screenshot. I don't know what this person said. I don't know who this person is. I don't know what the point is. But we did it. And now we go back to the Oxford Archaeologists' occult department. Teenage Mutant Ninja Tortoise. Let's just not get caught in the lair. Not get caught in the lair. Directions. They're so complicated. Sea turtle, right? You say sea turtle. You don't say sea tortoise. So if they are turtles, they would be land turtles, yeah? But I just seem to remember they were depicted as little, you know, the squishy, soft-shelled, swampy kind of turtles. When Splinter found them in a jar, they were in a jar originally, and then they got squished with green goop or something. I feel like that's an oversight. Someone should fix that. Or maybe we could have Teenage Mutant past their prime turtles, middle-aged mutant ninja turtles. I'm sure it'll look good on them. I mean, They'd probably be mean fighters even if they were geriatric. I wonder how cheese and a turtle's metabolism actually works together. I'll shut up now.
Fascinating stuff. You could do a lecture tour off this. Really, you're putting us to shame.
Not that we're strangers to scandalizing the academic community.
Oh, you.
This does fit with the big, terrible picture theory.
You know how I feel about that name.
It's only a theory, Monty. Sorry, the BTP posits that we, the collective we, mankind, have forgotten more than we ever learned. For centuries, man has discovered objects much older than recorded history.
Not even the immortals still understand how these antiquities are operated, their purpose, how they are manufactured. They become the stuff of myth and legend, the work of deities and devils.
Our civilization never seems to stray far from these things. That is why we can dig up a city underneath every city.
We're creatures of habit, repeat offenders.
You may be thinking, where does the terrible come in? If this theory holds, something must keep throwing out the toy set every time we finish building it, leaving us to spend an eon finding all the pieces and putting it back together.
Scrabbling in the dust for answers. And instead, finding more questions. For a moment there, I took you for a fond mirage.
Okay. Ooh, more lore. As posited, pieces of the Big Terrible Picture by De La Roche and others. The Arcane Modern June edition. As posited by Singh 2008, 2009, 2011, the unfortunately named Big Terrible Picture theory gains credence with each new find. Name aside, is this theory so outlandish? We are occult archaeologists. Our work has always been a matter of rediscovery, not purely discovery. Our ancestors selected the cradles of civilization for a variety of reasons, but it seems increasingly likely that one uniting factor was nostalgia. They came to these places searching for a memory that perhaps they couldn't even place. They found the evidence of their forebears reduced to little more than scrap metal and chicken scratches, and took up what they could. From these salvages, they taught themselves great advancements, tremendous advancements, at a rate greater than was ever recorded before. We were propelled to modernity from these forgotten peaks of prehistorical man. Perhaps we have advanced further than they did, in even shorter a space of time. But what do we accelerate towards? If we do not share their beginnings, shall we share their end? Boom boom, I would read that magazine. Okay, let's see. Here's a big terrible picture for you. You being responsible for the world ending and me getting to you before it does. Where were there ages before ours? Sure. Do I need you to wrap your head around that? No. The priesthood of Amun went to great lengths to keep certain sites and artifacts from Aknathen and his followers. The ancient origins of these relics are mind-fucking. Unfortunately, they require a history lesson that's totally beyond my PowerPoint. Bottom line, the priests believe that the current age could end with Aten. Given recent reports surfacing from the valley, it's tough to disagree. Ciao ciao. Yes, and we got a handbag. Brain dead t-shirt, yellow. T-shirt, t-shirt. Brain dead. That's beautiful, man, that's beautiful. Okay, we're wearing that for a little while. It's a good look. Cool. And that was it, future me.
Welcome. Sorry about the mess.
Yet
Mind your feet.
another intricate investigation. sound like I don't love them, but I do love them. They're just very involved, and that's exactly the point of them. And you don't get this kind of shit in other games, honestly. That's just fucking fantastic. Anyhow, I will link the names of Pharaoh in the description, and bye future me, bye bye bye. You saw me, I was there, bye.